If you were invited to a Stone Age wedding, what would you bring as a gift? A toaster? A scented candle? Or one nervous rabbit tied with a piece of grass? Because a real Stone Age wedding would probably not have a cake, a DJ, matching napkins, or one uncle giving a speech that lasts longer than winter. There would be no white dress, no gold rings, no paperwork, no photographer yelling, "One more," but this time look natural. And yet something important may still have happened. Two people might stand near a fire. Their families might gather close. The group might watch, food might be shared, a few people might smile. One jealous cousin might stare at the ground, and somewhere in that small, smoky circle, a private relationship could become a public fact. That is the strange thing about marriage. It feels romantic today. But deep underneath the flowers and fancy shoes, marriage is also a social signal. It tells the group, these two people now matter to each other in a special way. The Stone Age did not leave us wedding invitations carved on mammoth bones, so we cannot point to one exact ceremony and say, there it is, the first wedding. But we can ask a better question. What problems did early humans need marriage-like bonds to solve? And suddenly, the whole thing starts to look less like a fairy tale and more like an ancient survival hack with surprisingly emotional side effects. Imagine a small band of hunter-gatherers thousands of years ago. Life is not easy. Food changes with the seasons. Weather is rude for no reason. Predators do not respect personal boundaries, and children are basically tiny, adorable survival emergencies. Human babies are born helpless compared with many other animals. They need care for years, not days, not weeks. Years. That means a mother cannot easily gather food, protect herself, carry a child, watch for danger, maintain tools, and handle every crisis alone. She needs help. Sometimes from a partner, often from relatives, usually from the wider group. So long-term bonds mattered, not because ancient people were sitting around inventing romance novels, but because cooperation kept people alive. A pair bond could help with food sharing. It could help with childcare. It could connect two families. It could make responsibilities clearer. It could reduce confusion inside the group. And when you live in a small community where everyone knows who ate the last berry, clarity is useful. A Stone Age wedding may not have been called a wedding. It may not have looked like one ceremony. It may have been a meal, a dance, a gift exchange, a night around the fire, or simply a moment when everyone understood that two people had become a pair. The important part was not the decoration. The important part was public recognition. Because if nobody knows about a bond, the bond has less social power. Think about it. Even today, couples do not just quietly decide they are married and then hide in a closet. They tell families, they invite witnesses, they sign documents, they wear rings, they post photos, they create proof that other humans can see. Our brains still care about witnesses. In the Stone Age, witnesses may have been even more important. There were no government records, no digital albums, no courthouse, no shared calendar reminder saying, "Congratulations. This pair is now socially recognized." The group was the record. Memory was the document, and the ceremony, whatever form it took, was the notification system. Maybe a man brought meat to the woman's family. Maybe a woman's relatives watched how he behaved over time. Maybe the couple worked together, shared food, slept near the same fire, or joined households in a way everyone could see. Maybe elders gave approval. Maybe relatives negotiated. Maybe the whole group paid attention, because marriage was never just about two people floating in a romantic bubble. It affected everyone. Who shares food with whom? Who helps raise children? Which families become allies? Who moves to which camp? Who can be trusted during scarcity? Who gets angry if the bond breaks? Ancient love had paperwork too. It was just written in faces, memories, favors, meals, and gossip. And gossip, by the way, may have been one of humanity's earliest social technologies. Not the mean kind where someone whispers, "Did you see his animal skin outfit?" The useful kind. The kind that tracks trust. Who keeps promises? Who shares? Who cheats? Who protects children? Who disappears when work begins? A public pairing gave the group something to remember. That sounds unromantic, but it is actually beautiful in a very human way. Marriage may have helped turn fragile feelings into shared responsibility. Now, would there have been love? Probably yes, but not always in the modern movie sense. Ancient humans were still humans. They felt attraction, jealousy, attachment, grief, tenderness, fear, loyalty, and probably the deep irritation of someone snoring beside a fire. They did not need poetry books to feel attached. The brain systems behind bonding are ancient. Touch, shared danger, repeated cooperation, caring for children, and surviving hard times together can create powerful emotional ties. So a Stone Age couple might not say, "You complete me." They might say something more practical, like, "You did not run away when the hyena noises started." Honestly, that is a strong foundation. But here is where it gets interesting. A Stone Age wedding may have been less about romance proving itself, and more about the community agreeing to protect the bond. When two people become a recognized pair, other people adjust their behavior. Relatives may offer help, rivals may step back, children may gain a clearer network of care, resources may move in more predictable ways. That is the hidden machinery behind the ceremony. The fire, the food, the dancing, the gifts, and the gathering are not random extras. They are social glue. A shared meal says, "We accept this." A gift says, "We are connected now." A dance says, "This moment matters." A witness says, "I will remember." And memory in a world without writing is serious business. Of course, we should be careful. The Stone Age lasted a very long time. People lived in different places, climates, and cultures. There was no single universal caveman wedding package with optional flower arrangements. Some groups may have had simple pair bonds. Some may have had complex rules. Some may have arranged partnerships through families. Some may have allowed more choice. Human societies have always been creative, messy, and extremely good at inventing rules that make teenagers roll their eyes. But across many human communities, one pattern keeps appearing. Pairing is not only biological, it is social. Humans do not just mate, we explain, announce, judge, bless, remember, celebrate, and argue about mating. We wrap biology in story. That may be one of the most human things we do. A bird can build a nest. A wolf can form a pack. But humans gather around and turn relationships into meaning. We create symbols. A ring today is a tiny circle of metal. But socially, it is huge. It says, this relationship has a recognized status. In the Stone Age, the symbol might have been a shared meal, a bead necklace, a tool, a skin, a painted mark, a new sleeping place, or the simple fact that two families began treating each other differently. Different objects, same human trick. Take something ordinary and make it carry a social message. That is why a Stone Age wedding might look simple but feel powerful. No aisle, no orchestra, no dramatic flower drop. Just a group of people saying, in their own way, we see this bond. And being seen changes things. Here comes the twist. Maybe the first weddings were not invented because humans became more romantic. Maybe they appeared because humans became more socially complicated. As our ancestors lived in groups, raised helpless children, shared food, formed alliances, and remembered promises, private attraction was not enough. The group needed a way to organize love. That sounds funny, because love seems like the least organized thing in the universe. But humans organize everything. We organize food, we organize shelter, we organize who sits where, we organize who owes whom a favor. Eventually, we organized relationships too, and once a relationship became public, it could become part of the group's structure. That is the deep reason weddings still feel important. Even when modern couples say we just want something small, they usually still want someone to witness it. A friend, a parent, a sibling, a tiny dog in a bow tie, someone. Because the human brain does not only ask, "Do I love this person?" It also asks, "Does my world recognize this love?" That question is ancient. Modern weddings look very different from anything in the Stone Age. We have venues, playlists, photographers, legal forms, seating charts, and cake flavors that create emotional debates no hunter-gatherer could possibly understand. But under all of that, the old pattern remains. Gather the group, mark the bond, share food, create witnesses, turn private attachment into public reality. That may be why weddings can feel both beautiful and stressful. They are not just parties. They are social rituals, carrying thousands of years of human baggage, hope, fear, family politics, and the powerful desire to be seen. So what would a Stone Age wedding actually look like? Probably smaller, smokier, dirtier, less sparkly, more practical, maybe funny, maybe emotional, maybe awkward in exactly the same way all family events are awkward. Someone might bring food, someone might sing, someone might dance badly, someone might judge the partner. Someone might cry a little. Someone might ask, "Are you sure?" using only facial expressions. And at the center of it all, two people would become more than two people. They would become a relationship the group had to remember. That may be the real beginning of marriage. Not the ring, not the dress, not the cake, the witness, the shared memory, the moment when love stopped being invisible. So if we stripped a modern wedding of music, flowers, photos, rings, documents, and cake, what would still need to remain for it to feel like a real wedding?